Are you ready to take your green game to the next level? Well, today, love, we're making Southern style kale greens packed with bold, rich flavor that embodies that classic comfort taste. But the gag is, they're completely meatless. That's right. No ham hocks, no bacon, no fat back, just bold seasonings and a whole lot of love bringing this classic dish to life. These are all the specific items I use because I know some of you will ask, but here's the thing. Cooking is like dancing, y'all. You've got to make it your own. I'll give you the foundation, but once you found your footing, let loose and just have fun with it. All right, folks, let's dive in. First up, red onion. This is a beautiful onion, and the sweet aroma is filling the air just from cutting it, okay? The way you cut your produce will be key to acquiring the best palate experience for this dish. So for me, I chose to cut my onion the long way and slightly thin too at the same time. I don't want to have to fish for my onions while I'm eating. I need them to be easy to get to, okay? That's also why I'm using plenty of them. So you'll see I am taking advantage of every piece of the onion that I can retain. This is our red bell pepper, not to be confused with the chili pepper. I am not about that life, okay? I used to be able to handle spice, but not like that anymore. That is definitely a thing of the past. I'm a lightweight in these spice streets, okay? This bell pepper though, this particular one, the red one, is a sweet combination of both the yellow one and the orange one, but still maintaining that savory taste of the green pepper at the same time. It's absolutely perfect for this dish. So we're going to cut them in half and then we're going to cut them the long way. Now, cutting this is one of those things where you go by your preference. So if you want a thicker piece of pepper, then you go thicker. If you want smaller, then cut them smaller. But I just preference that you definitely do not go without them because they are definitely a key ingredient. Up next, we have our garlic. You can add as much or as little as you want. Some people love it, and let's just be honest, some people cannot stand it. But I'm telling you, the garlic is what's going to give this dish that savory feel that you're going for. Not just that, but regular garlic consumption is significant for improving health. So I would not go without the garlic, you guys. Any way you can get it in, get it in. Help with those headaches, high blood pressure, all of that stuff. So I'm using a lot. And here's our star, our kale, and also our broth. I'm going to cut the kale pretty small. I like the smaller pieces of kale. Of course, it'll shrink a little, but just a little bit smaller is what my preference is. Now, in a large stock pot, I've heated up about a half cup of olive oil on medium. Once hot, I'm adding in my onion. It's so funny how these things change. When I was younger, I could not stand onions, but now I cannot get enough of them. Was I the only one? Or have you guys, your palate changed as well? Have you always liked onions? I don't know. For me, I definitely did not like them. Now that my onions have become translucent, I'm going to add in my garlic and combine that all so that those flavors can really merge. Now I'm going to add in my bell pepper. And I cooked my garlic for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And now I'm adding in this bell pepper. And I'm going to do the same for that as well, just to get it soft just a little bit before I start to add my seasonings. Now I'm going to add in my oregano. This is a key ingredient. You definitely do not want to skip out on the oregano. Oh, it smells so good. Now we're going to add in our smoked paprika. You gotta have the smoked paprika, not regular paprika. Make sure it's smoked, you guys, because the regular paprika don't taste like nothing, and we all know it, okay? But we're gonna mix that all up. And now we're gonna go in with some Italian seasoning. Gotta have that as well. Give it a mix. And you're starting to see those things kind of stick a little at the bottom, but that's okay because we're going to put our broth in and we're going to take all of that right up the bottom of that pot. That seasoning will not go to waste, okay? And we're going to put a little bit more of that oregano. So in my big, beautiful pot, I'm now adding in our broth. And like I said, it's pulling all of that seasoning right off the bottom of that pot. But this is going to give us our liquid that we need to be able to cook down these vegetables. But you don't want to use water though, right? Because we don't want it to be bland. We want our vegetables to actually taste like something. So what I'm using is a vegan broth. It's called No Chicken Broth. And I'm also using vegetable broth as well. Now I'm going in with my Tabitha Brown Sunshine Seasoning. You guys, I love this seasoning, okay? I have to have it inside of my cabinet because I use it on so many different things. It is absolutely amazing and a key ingredient that I add inside of my greens. I'm using a tablespoon. I'm also using a tablespoon, barely, of the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. As I say, I'm not about that life. And I added in a little bit of pepper. Now we're going in with our salt. You can place a little bit of salt. As you see, I did not fill the spoon completely, and this is because you don't want to over salt. You can add a little bit of salt later, but some of the other things that you're going to put in have salt in them, so you don't want to overdo it. Now we are putting in our Worcestershire sauce. I think that's how you say it. Worcestershire sauce. Absolutely love that as well. And your cocoa aminos. And that was 1/4 of a cup, you guys. And then we're just going to mix that all in, all of those flavors. And now we're adding in our kale. So you want to get all the kale in at one time because you definitely don't want them to cook at different temperatures because that's not good. And then just give that a mix. Give it a mix. Give it a mix. I'm going to make sure it gets completely saturated. And then put the rest in. And then give it a whole nother mix again. I absolutely love kale. Love kale. I use it in so many different ways, not just in this form, like just regular green southern greens, but also I eat it as a salad. I put it inside my omelets. If you guys are kale eaters too, leave it down in the comment section and let me know what you use your kale for. We're going to reach that pot to a boil, and then we're going to cover it with a lid and let that cook for about 15 minutes and then stir again. And this is just making sure that everything gets even and all those pieces are cooked. Now our greens have been cooking for about 30 minutes, you guys. So we're looking and everything looks really, really good. So based on the fact that they're pretty much about 75% done, we're gonna go ahead now and we're going to add in our last and final ingredient. And this is gonna be our wine, that Taylor's dry sherry wine. We're gonna add in a fourth of a cup of the wine, and this is going to really just merge everything together. Now, once we have the wine in there, we'll let them continue to cook for about 10 to 15 more minutes, and then that's it. We'll plate them up. So we'll mix that in really good, put that lid back on, and then we'll plate right after. And there you go. Just as simple as that. These greens will not disappoint you guys. I love collards and I love turnips, but kale is quicker and it tastes just as good. Now I paired mine with this beautiful marinated red snapper and it was so good. For that recipe and others, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Until next time, guys.